They are picking people who have said and done some awful things in the past, but because they lean left politically, it's A-OK. Let's start with Jelana Porter. She is the new Deputy Press Secretary spokesperson for the State Department, the very face of our foreign affairs. Jelana has a lot of nasty things to say about law enforcement. This is the kind of thing that would get you, well, not hired in the Republican world. Let's take a look at what she put on her Facebook page back in 2016, not terribly long ago. The largest threat to U.S. national security are U.S. cops, not ISIS, not Russian hackers, not anyone or anything else. Wow. How about that? Let's put her at the State Department platform speaking for America. I don't think that's a very good idea. How about this? Hunter Biden.
Do you want to call me for a president?
Days, well, one of his attorneys has a colleague who just hit it big. A great big job in the Department of Justice. Ex-colleague of Hunter Biden's lawyer gets top DOJ post. What's up with that? Also, do you remember Peter Strzok, the now disgraced FBI agent who,
how could you forget?
He got caught lying and was ultimately fired by the FBI.
He's a trash.
His wife has a very big job now at the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. The Biden administration just made Peter Strzok's wife a top SEC official. Does that seem right? Does that seem like it would fly in a Republican administration? By the way, are these issues getting a lot of attention? Not really.
The commies are taking over.
By the way, you have to differentiate, though, between the top of the swamp and the rank and file. Often, you've got great people in the rank and file. And we have to mention that 3 FBI agents were shot today. 2 died down in Sunrise, Florida. That's outside of Fort Lauderdale. They were serving a warrant, and 2 agents died. That's horrible. And our thoughts and prayers go out to those heroes. And too often, there is a big difference between those who want to serve America and those who want to take from America. Every organization has that, by the way. Those who play a political game and those who just try to do the job. Even the military, by the way. The United States military, they have people there to serve, and they have people there to, get by politically. Did you see this? The Pentagon came out with an official policy statement. The Pentagon declares climate change a national security issue. Climate change. All right. I thought they were all about winning wars and, figuring out how to minimize casualties, but they're going to be talking about and worrying about climate change. Do you think the military came up with that themselves, or was it thrust upon them by
They're going to make it a mamby-pamby
culture?
Military.
Traditionally, call me corny, but the military stands for peace and use of force when necessary. I don't think they will be at odds with law and order. Well, this military apparently is. Do you remember the horrible events that happened in Washington, D.C. over the summer? The riot right outside the White House? We all saw it. People marauding, destroying or trying to destroy statues, trying to burn a church.
Punks.
It was a horrible situation, and the National Guard was sent in. They cleaned it up, along with Metropolitan
The punk
Police.
convention.
Problem? I don't see one. And the president, who stands for law and order, let's face it, and the right to worship, walked over there after the scene was cleared, and he stood proudly in front of a church, and he raised the Bible. Now, this is one of the most controversial moments of the Trump presidency. Why?
They don't like the way he held the Bible. They don't know one thing about the Bible.
But it drove the swamp.
They touched it, they'd probably get swallowed up by the earth.
The chairman and the Joint Chiefs of Staff,
burn.
for apologizing for participating in the moment, even just for a nanosecond, when he walked across the street with his commander-in-chief. He somehow felt the need to apologize.
I should not have been there. My presence in that moment and in that environment created a perception of the military involved in domestic politics.
Well, that was unacceptable. Ensuring peace, tranquility, and religious but somehow this is A-okay. Here he is, forgive me, General, basically flirting with the brand new Vice President Kamala Harris after
Got
the
political.
inauguration.
Look at
May
him.
we take a quick peek, please? That's General Milley,
Oh,
and
caught
that's
him.
Kamala Harris. I
Busted.
see four hands involved in that greeting right there. They're talking up a storm. Am I supposed to think less of General Milley? I mean, an inauguration is, I think it has political overtones. Isn't that safe to say? Such a strange culture down there. And by the way, am I taking knock shots at the
You know, she
military
likes to,
generals? You're damn right I am. And I know
she likes to
plenty of
work her
them.
way
And
up.
frankly, I think I've earned the right. I ate a lot of dirt in the desert. I've been there, I've done that. Okay? Okay. Back to Joe Biden.
Exactly.
Very shaky, let's face it. And when you see Joe Biden, do you see somebody who's in charge? Do you see somebody who's barking orders? Or do you see somebody who might be on the receiving end of
Grandpa.
orders? Do you think Joe Biden's really running the show?
He
Here's
needs
what
a
he
nap.
says, and here's what I'm hearing. He's not in charge. These two fellows are. We've got Ron Klain, longtime swamp inhabitant, worked for Joe Biden as vice president, and Susan Rice, of course, made famous during Benghazi. These are said to be the real power
Look at
players
that face.
in the White House right now.
Wow.
You know, when you think about it, Joe Biden being president, it really never should have happened for a lot of reasons, but he was a elder vice president, okay? Becoming vice president is such a fluke. It really is. Let's go back. When Ronald Reagan picked George H.W. Bush, he had a list of like 6 names.
CIA Bush.
And, he thought about making Gerald Ford.
That was, look, that was, then he put an attempt on his life. He was the head of the CIA, George Bush. He should have never put him in. Just like Kennedy put in LBJ, should have never put in mortal enemy.
Yeah, people knew who George H.W. Bush was, but catapulted to the vice presidency. When you're vice president, well, you're just a heartbeat away, as they say. How about...
Ain't that the truth?